So what's up, YouTube? I got a question for you. You ever think to yourself, damn, this band fired this singer, but their second singer is even better? Well, there's a lot of examples out there, and I have a shitload with all my honorable mentions, probably over 20 here. After that, I said, fuck it, that's enough. But there's a lot missing, I'm sure. But I'm just going to put 20, or how many I have here. I think I have 14 or 15, with some, honorable mentions of bands that fired their first singer or original singer or second singer, whatever, and their second, third, fourth, but I'm focusing on the second singer, is better than the original. So let's get it started, because I have a lot here. I'm not going to do any, clips in this video. It would be too fucking long. I'm going to try to get through this the fast I can without being a fucking auction person, auctioneer. So we'll start off with one that's pretty obvious. I'm not a huge fan of these guys, but I could see this going either way. I mean, that's AC/DC with Brian Johnson, or with Bon Scott. I think AC/DC are overrated. I don't hate them. I listen to them occasionally, I guess. Rarely do I put them on, but singers both sound similar, and I would probably choose Brian Johnson if I had him in this list, because I love Back of Black, Razor's Edge. Even one of my favorites that no one likes is Fly on the Wall, but I also love Highway to Hell. It's my favorite song by them. So I put them in honorable mentions, because some people could choose either one. Next up's fairly obvious, but I thought I'd pull one out, and that's David Lee Roth with Van Halen. Is easier choice for me than Sammy Hagar, but I pulled this one out because I like this album a lot. It's the only Sammy Hagar work that I've ever liked, because I'm not a fan. He's a better singer than Dave, but I just prefer Dave. I put it in the honorable mentions because it could be an either or for some people. This one is another one, because I love both singers, the first two especially, and that's Black Sabbath. I was going to put them in here, but even though Dio, I think, is a better singer, obviously, than Ozzy, a better musician, everything, and I love Heaven and Hell. It's one of my favorite records ever. But when I listen to Black Sabbath, I, for some reason, always usually feel like listening to the first few 7 or 8 from Ozzy. And I'm just like, but Dio's 4, because I count the Heaven and Hell album, the band that they released, The Devil You Know, I count that as a Black Sabbath record. They're all 4 solid, so he has a more solid catalog. So I couldn't decide. I love both. So, and Tony Martin in his own right is pretty damn good too. So I put them in the honorable mentions. Next up, I did a video of this one. That's Bite Down Hard, Brittany Fox. I love Tommy Paris's vocals more than I do Dean Davidson, but I also like Dean Davidson's raspy voice. And this is my favorite Brittany Fox album, but I don't like Springhead Motorshark at all, so this is pretty much the only one I like. And the first 2 Brittany Fox albums are pretty solid too, so I couldn't really pick one, so I put them in the honorable mentions. And I had to throw this in there. Queensryche, obviously, Jeff Tate, original singer, can't be matched, but Todd Latour is amazing. I've seen him live, both versions. One of the last shows he did with Queensryche before he left. And then I've seen them with Todd many times, and he sounds awesome. Sounds really amazing. And I would prefer this version of Queensryche after Empire, because there's really nothing post-Empire that I really like from Queensryche. But I like all their albums they've done with him so far. So, once again, honorable mention. And before I get started, I won't put bands that had original singer but never recorded anything. Like Judas Priest, Al Adkins was the original singer, but he's not on any. A couple of his writing, songs are on it, like Victim of Change is one of my favorite Judas Priest songs. That was actually written by Al Adkins, or at least part of it. Talking about a woman, obviously, it's not going to be Rob Halford. But, yeah, it's just, I'm not going to count that. I think the Scorpions had an original singer, too, maybe, because Klaus Meine wasn't originally founded as a founding member. It was Rudolph, so that won't count. Now, let's get started. I'm going to start off to piss people off at the beginning, because if you watch my Iron Maiden video, you'll know, and with the recent passing of Paul Di'Anno, that I wasn't a big Paul Di'Anno fan. I still wasn't. I have a couple of his solo records, and his first two albums, Judas Priest, to me they're mid at best. I mean, I like Wrath Child, I like Killers more than the debut, but a lot of people love Paul Di'Anno, and I don't hate the guy, but I just would rather listen to many more different metal singers than I would choose to listen to him before I would pick his albums out. But I grew up with Bruce. This is my favorite album by Iron Maiden, so I would have started off with controversy. So there it is, Iron Maiden. And everything after the first two, you got the Peace of Mind, you got the Power Slave, all those albums, Somewhere in Time, they're all 4 or 5 in a row are just so much better than the first two albums. Although some of their newer stuff I would prefer to listen to the first two over like the last one. It was boring as shit. I didn't like it. Anyway, next band. This is probably pretty standard choice. Faith No More and Mike Patton easily beats the shit out of Chuck Mosley's albums. Was not a very big fan of Chuck Mosley. We care a lot. Biodome. It's in Biodome. And it's okay, but, Faith No More really hit it big with The Real Thing and Mike Patton. It's just, he brings such, not just vocally, but all the crazy shit he did on stage and on it. It just brings a lot better element to the band. Even though they said, Roddy Bottom said they might be done now. So Faith No More might be no more. This one is pretty standard for me. It's my favorite power metal band out of Finland, and one of my favorite power metal bands ever, Stratovarius, with Timo Kotipelto, the second singer and current singer. Well, I love Timo Tolkki as a guitar player. His vocals are okay. They're very raw sounding. I have the first record on vinyl. Trying to get Dream Space and Twilight Time, but they're fucking at insane prices. But Timo's vocals are just insane, out of this world. Black Diamonds and Destiny albums, Speed of Light, all great shit, even up to their newer stuff. So this one is the next two are two of my favorite singers. They're not metal, they're not hard rock, it's more rock. And I'm a big AOR guy, even though I don't have very many. I don't think I made a video on AOR yet, but I could. Starting off with Survivor, Jimmy Jamison, fucking love his voice, great singer. And Dave Bickler did a great job with Eye of the Tiger, Ever Since the World Began, great fucking song, which Jimmy would do for Lockup. And he was alright, but I don't know, he just seemed kind of pale. Not literally, I mean, he's a white guy, but I mean, stale would be a better word. He didn't have any energy at all, really. And I think he had surgery, so they replaced him with Jimmy Jamison when he was with Cobra after Target. They made one album, it's really awesome, Cobra, Ready to Strike. I have it in this case here. It's like hard rock, has Mandy Meyer on guitars from Crocus. It's fucking great. And then he went to Survivors, the rest of his history, and Rocky IV and all that. This one is even more obvious. Steve Perry's my favorite singer ever. Even though I haven't made a Journey album or a video yet, I need to make one. I wouldn't know which ones to order to put them in because I love Journey. And even Arnell is great, but the original guy, Greg Raleigh from Santana with Neil Schon, also from Santana, started Journey. Greg's voice is not bad, but Steve just blows him away. I mean, he's called the voice for a reason, honestly. It's just that I meant faithfully, honestly. It's, from this album, just amazing vocals, Separate Ways, Don't Stop Believing. And one of those songs that I think you should check out with Journey from, I think it's Infinity, his first album he did with the band, is Winds of March. It wasn't even a single, but fuck, his vocals on that was awesome. It's just something, crazy. But that's Steve Perry. Next up, Riot. They had many different singers. So many. There's like 5 or 6 of them, I think, now. They have a different singer now. And they have a new album out, but I haven't really followed them since after this album came out. This is from 91, Progressions of Power. My favorite singer is Tony Moore. I knew his name was Moore or something. I had to look it up. It's Tony Moore. Because of Guy Speranza was the original vocalist, I think. And then he left. And then the guy got shot in his own car. Rhett Forrester got murdered in fucking broad daylight. He was a vocalist for a while. And then Tony Moore came in. And he's still alive. And Thundersteel is my favorite, but I grabbed this one. And Thundersteel is just an amazing record. This album is pretty interesting in its own right too, because like every song starts off with a long intro. It's really weird, and like a talking intro. But Thundersteel for me, and him as the singer of Riot when he was in the band, is my favorite. And we'll start off with maybe a little bit more, not start off, but have a little bit more controversy, or controversy as my British friends would say. And that is Metal Church. Really, fucking sleeves covered it up. Metal Church. This one's The Human Factor, my favorite Metal Church album. And it fits well. I can't believe music out these days. The human factor has diminished in oh so many ways. Ain't that the fucking truth? But when Mike Howe came in, his voice, I don't know, it fits so well. David Wayne was a good singer too. I like the first 2 albums. I haven't heard Masterpiece. I heard it sucks, but I haven't listened to it. And Ronnie Monroe's alright, but Mike Howe, man, he changed the game. You know, had Badlands, he had Human Factor, Fake Healer, God's a Second Chance from Hanging in the Balance. I met Mike Howe when they would play in Pittsburgh, and he was such a nice guy. Too bad he ended up taking his own life. Rest in peace. Now, this one's a curious case here. Gamma Ray Kai Hansen, his first band, well, second band after Halloween, who's playing in the background. And, you know, I meant to grab Halloween, so I'll throw Halloween in there. I fucking forgot it over there. Here's the one I just had, even though that's Kai's vocals. Halloween. Then I'll get the Gamma Ray. Michael Kiske, fucking amazing singer. Andy Dearest in his own right is really damn good. Michael Kiske, or Kai Hansen is actually good too, because Gamma Ray wouldn't be where it is without Kai. He's like the father of power metal because he did both huge bands, guitarist and sang for both. And since I forgot to grab one with Michael Kiske as the singer, I'll just talk about it. And you know, keep it to 7 Keys 1 and 2, changed the game in power metal history. Keep It to 7 Keys Part 2 is my favorite album, power metal album of all time. And part of it is because Michael Kiske's vocals. He's just amazing. And the new album is fucking great too because he had both singers. And getting back to Kai Hansen, Gamma Ray, this is an interesting case because Kai Hansen is not, like I said, he's not a bad singer. He's pretty good. But Ralph Sheepers, that's even him. My God, Primal Fear and Ralph Sheepers, I've seen them live and listened to most of their albums. Ralph Sheepers is a hell of a singer. He's way better than Kai Hansen. The reason why I put him on Gamma Ray on this list is because he wasn't in the band, only 3 albums. And when I think of Gamma Ray and all, you know, Land of the Free, Power Plant, you know, No World Order, it's all Kai as the vocalist. So even though I keep saying Michael Kiske, Ralph Sheepers is a way better singer. When it comes to Gamma Ray, I like this album. I like the first 3 albums, but I always think of Michael as the singer of Gamma Ray. So there you go. And next up, probably another one that's controversial. I didn't really like the debut too much, but I love this record, and that's Exodus. First singer Paul Bailoff with Bonded by Blood. I prefer Fabulous Disaster, Impact is Imminent. Even the second one, Pleasures of the Flesh, over the debut. I don't know. I just think Steve is a better fit for the band. And Toxic Walls, you know, Inside the Walls of Chaos, you know, just great shit. You know, even the cover of what is it? Is it Sin City? I can't fucking remember. It's on the CD. It's not on the vinyl. But he just fits the band better, especially better than that Rob Duke. I didn't like him at all, but I'm glad he's back in the band, Steve. And here's another one that could be a toss-up between where the singer I'm going to talk about is not as good as their third singer, and that's Anthrax, Joey Belladonna. I prefer Anthrax with Joey Belladonna, even though John Bush is a hell of a singer and he's better vocalist easily. I just think he fits Armored Saint better than Anthrax, even though Sound of White Noise is pretty good and We've Come For You All was alright. But, you know, the cream of the crop of this band, Fistful of Metal with Neil Turbin, it started with this album, you know, Spreading the Disease. My favorite is actually, this is my second favorite, but my favorite is actually Among the Living. And I'm not a huge Anthrax fan, but it's just the whole rap metal fucking shit they did. But Joey fit the band really well, and he's the best fit for the band. And I got one more vinyl here and the 3 CDs. And This one, pretty much guarantee that most people would say, and that's Tony Harnell with TNT. They had their band from Norway had original Norwegian singer. They recorded the debut album, I think, or at least a few songs, and I don't know if they fired him or what, and I don't remember his name. It's a Norwegian name. I talked about this on the Norwegian band video I did, and Tony came in and just changed it. And his high pitched and great vocals on 10,000 Lovers, you know, on the debut album with him, Knights of the New Thunder, Intuition, my favorite one from TNT. They're all kick-ass, and even Realized Fantasies I like a lot, and even though a lot of people didn't like it. And Tony's voice just really complimented Ronnie Lectecro and Diesel Doll and Morty Black, and just fit perfectly with the band. And the last three I have are CDs, and they're all really, aside from one, they're all pretty short-lived bands. And I'll start off with Vinnie Vincent of Vinnie Vincent's band. Robert Fleischman, who was with Journey right before they hired Steve Perry, who was going to be their singer after Greg Raleigh, but they were like, holy fuck, Steve Perry's so much better. And on the Journey Time box set I have over there was a few songs written and sung by Robert Fleischman, who also went on to do the first Vinnie Vincent album. But Mark Slaughter's on the second album. Mark Slaughter's a hell of a singer. Not as much now live, because he lost his vocal range a lot, but man, back in his heyday, Mark Slaughter was a great singer. Even though Vinnie Vincent hated working with Mark Slaughter, he said. The next one, I'll show the vinyl, because it's the first singer, Stevie James, didn't really care for him that much. Tigertailz, out of Wales, Cardiff, I believe. And then I don't know if they fired him, if he left, Kim Hooker came in and they made their best album. Berserk, you know, Love Bomb Baby, Heaven, what's the other song? Noise Levels Critical, that's a good one. And then they did Bonsai and Wazbones, and I don't know, Kim just fit the band really well, and he left. They got a different singer. He came back for Berserk 2.0. He left again, so now they have somebody else. And the last one I did a video on, and they only made 3 records, but this one is the one that matters to me, and that's Shotgun Messiah. I made a video of them too. Check it out. I could put them in the video here at the end. And you know, Zinny Zan, first album, Shotgun Messiah, previously known as Kingpin. They were from Sweden, and I don't know, his voice wasn't that great. Don't Care About Nothing's pretty good. Nowhere Fast, it's all right, but Tim, I wouldn't say Tim Skull's a great singer, but the deeper voice, and I don't know, it fit the band, especially with Second Coming and like Living Without You and Heartbreak Boulevard. And they ended up finishing with an album I always hated until recently, and that was Violent New Breed, because it was industrial metal, but it came out before any other industrial metal. It was like the forefather album of industrial metal, but it was right before it became popular, so it came and went. And that was pretty much the end of Shotgun Messiah. Tim Skull went on to play with bass for Marilyn Manson, and all his solo stuff is all, you know, industrial stuff. But I do like Violent New Breed title track, you know, I'm a Gun. It actually is a lot better than I thought. So, but overall, industrial metal is not my thing. So that's my list. I kept it under 20 minutes. Tried to do it as fast as I could. So let me know what you think of these bands I just named, and if there's other ones I could cover of the second singers better. Like I said, I only went through some of my list. I didn't feel like going through all my albums. There's a lot I'm probably forgetting, but thanks for watching. Like I said, I'll put a video here. And sometimes, like I said, the original, usually the best, but in these cases, or even the honorable mentions, depending on who you ask, are better. So, as always, rock the fuck on YouTube, and I'll see you soon. Peace.